first year when I was a fresher. I'd heard about it before I came to uni. I've covered a lot of the sort of student protest stuff that's been going on this year, because news is kind of my like my passion, and that's what I want to do. So, you know, these stories were just like gold in our lap this year. It was, you know, a fantastic year for news stories, particularly in Leeds, and we've had some brilliant access. You know, we've got Michael Arthur, Vice Chancellor, Chair of the Russell Group, who I've interviewed about 4 times this year, I think. And so he's always like willing to do interviews. We've interviewed Jon Snow, you know, been to these protests and been right in the heart of, you know, down at Millbank.
What was that like?
Oh, it was an incredible experience. When we went down there, I didn't really know what to expect. It seemed there was a lot of coaches coming from Leeds, and I thought, wow, like this could be really massive today. You know, seeing thousands and thousands of students all, you know, marching along, and it was all like, it was sunny and it was quite peaceful, and then suddenly it all just sort of kicked off. Outside of Millbank, there was people sort of broke away from the group and went and were chanting there, and they tried to get into a building, and then they tried to get into another building, and there weren't many police around, and I sort of thought, well, what's going on here? This is a bit weird. And then it kind of got a bit nastier and more people, and suddenly there were sort of bonfires and windows being smashed and all sorts of things getting thrown. And, you know, for the most part, it was sort of a case of you get your kind of journalist / camera person head on, and you're like, I've just got to get the best shots here. I've got to get, you know, I owe it to the students, I owe it to my job or whatever, I don't know. So you're kind of crazy trying to get in there amongst it all. But there were a few moments when I just thought, what am I doing? I feel like I'm putting myself in danger, and for what, really? I feel like doing that story, or covering these stories over the year, being part of what I see as like national news stories and breaking news, was phenomenal. Like it just absolutely reiterated that is exactly what I want to do. It didn't put me off at all. It definitely, yeah, I don't know, it kind of, the adrenaline of it and the putting it together and just being part of something that big was, yeah, it was incredible. I absolutely loved it.